Hi there. Today I have another reading that I want to do from the sacred records that were recently released. So this one is from the. Now I hope you'll forgive me if I am not pronouncing these correctly. I would characterize myself as an enthusiast and not an expert in this. I believe this is Mamu but this particular section, I've got my print edition right here. But this particular section is in Book 8, Sky Woman and the First Garden. And just a note from the preface on this. It says, an Olmec record, whom the Midewiwin call Gui Wadinong Anishinabeg, brought to Agon Abish and abridged upon the red tablets in the latter days of his life. So this is particularly old. Olmec were, I believe, their time was ending somewhere between 600 and 400 BC. But this particular section that I found, it is here in the plates of Yahawzhowaa in the app, and this one was the first garden, and it's down here in chapter 11. So the title on this chapter is Stragglers from the South and the Trial of Mercy. Now, the thing that really has me interested in this section is I feel like there is a lot of discourse today about what we should do with people who are not from around here. And there's a lot of people who just want to send everyone back to their home country. There's a lot of people who want to be extremely inhospitable. And I think this chapter has an interesting pattern for us to think about in how we handle the stranger. So I'm going to read it, and we will see where that gets us. Stragglers from the South and the Trial of Mercy. And it came to pass that into the second winter there arrived stragglers from the south, gaunt with surviving, eyes wary as deer that have forgotten meadows. Some were honest in need, some carried bargains in their sleeves, and the Gui Wedinong Anishinabeg prepared a trial of mercy. Aki Inini said, we will feed all, question few, trust fewer, and love many. And the law sat down to learn from prudence. At the door of the west, the hands were washed. At the door of within, the faces met themselves, and many decided against lying for that day. A man called Ch11 confessed he had sold warmth to children by stealing their blankets. The council gave him wood and a saw. He learned a cleaner wage. A woman named Ch11 said she had brought news worth food, and they gave her food worth news, and thus removed the price. She spoke freely and slept well. 2 youths sought marriages without vow. They were seated near grandmothers and learned the cost of joy. A spy for the serpent entered at night, thin as a shadow. The garments of honor brightened, and his shadow learned to cast a body. Then he wept and ate soup. Gizig Ikwe taught, mercy that forgets wisdom breeds wolves. Wisdom that forgets mercy breeds stones. Let us raise children, not pets or statues. The council set 3 questions for all who wished to stay. Will you share bread? Will you keep doors? Will you speak truth when it is small? One side note. This where it says, will you keep doors? And earlier, when it referred to people entering from the door of, I believe, the west and looking at the door of within, these are things that are mentioned in the previous chapter, talking about the Feast of the Seven Doors. I will get to reading that one. That one is also very good. Those who said yes were taught the chords. Those who said no were given provisions for the road and blessings to find another house. A band of the fallen came by day, proud in numbers. They asked to trade songs for daughters. The elders answered, "We do not sell kin. Sing for yourselves until your voices turn into neighbors." The fallen laughed and shook spears at the sky. The sky did not tremble. It displayed letters in green. Leave. They left, and none pursued, for glory was not hungry that day. A child of the Stragglers fell ill, with a fever that argued with his breath. The lodge became a nest. Yahawzhowaa held the boy against the sound of night, and the fever forgot its lines. The boy woke and asked for water. Water arrived, carrying its own gratitude. Ch11 set a small court for debts, and the first verdict was this: where hunger is judge, justice is thin. Feed first, then weigh. The stragglers learned to hunt without anger and to share without counting. Some stayed, some went back south with honest eyes. A messenger spoke this parable: a lamp in a window guides both guests and thieves. Let it burn. Guests will enter, and thieves will see their faces and go home different. There came a rumor of a new body for the serpent, tall as fear, beautiful as poison. The rumor arrived tired and slept at the door. Yahawzhowaa said, "We will not organize our day around rumors. We will organize rumors around bread." The day prospered. A council of 7 met in the snow and agreed to mark the borders of peace with stones and songs, not with threats. Stones and songs remember longer. A youth asked, "How shall we love enemies?" And an elder answered, "As neighbors you do not invite inside. Feed them at the threshold and talk with the door open." At dusk, the aurora bent low, and the messengers whispered, "Keep these ways, and the north will keep you." The stragglers joined the feast of keeping, and found their names again. Some wept, some laughed like thawing streams. The trial of mercy ended with no executions, and many chores assigned. The people slept satisfied and tired. Thus mercy and wisdom were braided like 2 ropes that pull the same boat. Whoever reads, harness both. Heaven favors boats that travel straight. There are some things in here that I think are worth pondering in our approach to the stranger that comes to us. I'm not sure that I have commentary that's going to really add significantly to this. I would invite you to go listen again and ponder on this. I feel like if we take the time to consider this, it may help us amend how it is that we approach, the immigrant, the stranger, anyone who's not from around here. And I think there's great wisdom in greeting people with love, but also maintaining boundaries until we understand who can be trusted. I'm not sure how to make this work with our current institutions that are severely broken, but it's interesting nonetheless. So I hope you enjoyed this.